after Monday night, some drama in the AFC West happened. The Chargers beat the Raiders 28-14. Joey Bosa had some comments for Derek Carr. Joey Bosa said this: "We knew once we hit him a few times, he gets really shook. And you saw that on Covington's sack. He was pretty much curling into a ball before we even got back there. Great dude, great player. But we know once you get pressure on him, he kind of shuts down." Do you agree with Joey Bosa's comments on Derek Carr? What do you think about this?
Such a bad take. This is such a bad take.
Yeah.
Derek Carr does not get rattled under pressure. If anything, he's the complete opposite. I dug into it a little bit last night. So in 2020, according to Next Gen Stats, Derek Carr was the 9th best quarterback under pressure. He also had the 2nd best quarterback rating on deep passes, which shows that he could wait for the route to develop.
Yep.
On deep passes, he had a 10-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Then in 2019, he was the 3rd best quarterback under pressure, the passer rating of 103.7, a 67% completion rate, which was the best in the NFL. He had 5 game-winning drives last season. His MVP-type season 2016 had 7 game-winning drives. I don't know how, in any circumstance, you could look at Derek Carr and be like, yeah, get pressure on him and it's over. Or he's not clutch in the 4th quarter. He can't go down the field and win. I don't know if Joey Bosa was saying pass rush-wise or like big-time moment-wise, because Derek Carr hasn't had any playoff performances, so we don't really know how he looks. But looking at how he is under pressure, which is one of the biggest signs if you're going to be a good or bad quarterback, like we saw with Herbert last year, who's the best in the NFL, there's no doubt in my mind that Derek Carr does not get affected by a pass rush.
Yeah, this take was pretty bad.
Terrible.
Pretty bad. But I can respect it because from being a guy, obviously I'm going to bring in the Broncos again. Von Miller had beef with Phillip Rivers. They had that kind of thing where obviously Von Miller is a primetime pass rusher in our league. You could debate at a period in time Von Miller was the best pass rusher in the league. But Phillip Rivers doesn't shy away from confrontation. Both of them had issues with one another. It's a division type thing. Our division is rough. It's one of the more tougher.
It's probably the 2nd best in the league.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. So I don't mind the comment by Joey Bosa because obviously you see this team 2 times a year. It's a rivalry. Obviously, they're playing in their old state where they used to play. Obviously, so there's that little added issue there. So I don't mind the comment, but come on, Derek Carr, 22 game-winning drives, 26 comeback fourth quarter comebacks for him as well. If you're going to talk trash, at least be accurate. You could say, Derek Carr just isn't like that. Derek Carr just isn't prime time like that. Derek Carr isn't just on the elite level type quarterbacks, not prime time, because obviously he is prime time when he has the talent around him. I just think that he needed to be more tactical with what he's saying. If you're going to talk trash, be accurate. Don't say something to the media that's obviously going to get people like us on a round table and say you're wrong. But do I respect that trash talk? No doubt.
Derek Carr responded. He said, "The game I watched, we came out and fought a little. After they got up, after a bit and little, this is like a word salad right here. Okay, I'm going to start over. The game that I watched, we came out and fought a little bit after they got after us a little bit up front. Fine. The opinions I care about are what Gruden and Ollie told me when I came in the building yesterday and today, and it will always be that way, especially with my teammates, but we'll see them again. He's entitled to say that. Great player, great dude. I just don't think he watched the game in the same order I did." If you want to base Derek Carr crumbling under pressure on his win-loss record, you might have an argument because in 2019 and 2020, the Raiders started out 6-4 and then didn't make the playoffs and crumbled down the stretch. But if we're just talking about his play, which I think that's what we should measure this by.
Agreed.
You mentioned 2020, ninth best quarterback under pressure. 2019, 3rd best quarterback under pressure. 2020, 8.7 yards per attempt when pressured, 2nd highest in the NFL. And you mentioned 10-to-1 touchdown ratio. This guy has been all worldly when he's under pressure. I think Derek Carr is one of the more underrated quarterbacks. And now that the Raiders are finally doing good and better than everybody expected, more people are starting to see it too. Joey Bosa, natural trash talk. And Derek Carr talks a lot of trash too, so this was a response to that. But the Raiders will face the Chargers later on in the season at Allegiant Stadium. So we'll see who has the better of who that day, but I think this was an inaccurate statement. You couldn't be more wrong about Derek Carr. He's a warrior. I think he's a warrior.
I don't mind it, really. I mean, I want more rivalry in our game. Name a rivalry in the NFL that really sticks out to you right now. The only one, Lamar and Mahomes, but they don't really have beef with one another. There's no real beef in the NFL right now. So I don't mind. This is the first real issue we've had in the media, player to player, outwardly, that we're aware of in a while. So I'm more than okay with this. I want a little bit more of this.
You don't think Jalen Ramsey, D-Hop is that?
You know, it's fun, but they have mutual respect for one another. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what all these guys have.
But I don't know. This was more direct. This was more of a like, yo, this guy is not like that.
It was a shot.
But it's the same thing with Lamar and Mahomes. They respect each other.
But they've never openly come out and said,
of course,
I'm the guy. You know what I mean?
You don't think they make too much money to throw shots?
I don't think they make too much money to throw shots because look at the NBA. Russ and Embiid, that will go at it easily with one another. NBA is just full of a laundry list. It's
also
of
a different sport because when you're on the court together playing, Embiid and Russ and Lamar and Mahomes who are never on the field at the same time.
But that's why
also,
an edge rusher talking trash to a quarterback is lit.
But also in the NBA, you can see when they're talking. In the NFL, helmets, they're probably talking all day. Like Derek Carr says, I talk trash to him all day. Tom Brady, you look at his mic'd ups, he's always talking trash. I just don't think we hear it or we see it because of the helmets. It's just blocking everything.
But usually if it gets to a point like when Richard Sherman had a problem with Crabtree, they'll bring it to the media if it really gets to that point.
Sherman's a character.
Norman and Odell.
But think about think about how much people gravitated towards those events.
Amazing.
Oh, Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Evans.
That's another one. Yeah. That's another one. But this is what brings people to the games. Carolina versus the Giants. Like the Giants were, I guess at the time they were a solid, respected team. Carolina obviously was one of the better teams. But people weren't caring about Cam Newton and Eli Manning.
Yeah, no.
They were worried about what Odell's going to do. Got shut out in the first half, but what Odell do in the second half? Had the game-winning touchdown, game-tying touchdown, whatever it was. It's those type of rivalries, those type of moments that really are what make the NFL entertaining.
Tyrann Mathieu Brady. Just thinking one.
Andre Johnson, Finnegan.
That was a movie. Who didn't Jalen Ramsey and AJ go at it? Like AJ went behind Jalen and choked him out. Like
DK and was this not Slay last year? No, who was it?
I'm hyped. We're just listening. No, it's DK and Slay didn't go crazy. DK
last
just
year,
ate up Slay.
It was DK and who did he go up against on the Eagles? And they were beefing like the entire first game. It was I'm like 99% sure it was Slay.
DK.
They got it was like a Monday night game.
Like Jalen Mills or something. I don't know.
I think it was Slay.
It was.
They were going back and forth. I mean, DK was kind of cooking him, but
DK violated him.
He dropped the touchdown.
Slay had a rough back-to-back.
How about
it was DK and Devontae?
D-Hop and D'Angelo Hall.
Oh my God, D-Hop made him look silly.
That is one of the best moments ever. Period.
Yeah. And that was probably D-Hop's like third year, maybe. Like he was mad young.
I forget what did he even say to him. Did he just say nothing?
No, it was. I think D'Angelo Hall was actually complimenting.
Oh my God, no, he dropped him.
Yeah.
That's what he did. Yo, that's fast.
D-Hop said, "I'm gonna break your ankles," and he went out and he got hurt on that play.
You're so right, bro. I forgot he had to get carried off the field.
Yeah, he got embarrassed.
That was awesome.
D'Angelo Hall actually was like saying, yo, good job. I think, but he said like, good job, Brooke, or good job, Youngin or Kid. I don't know, one of those two. And D-Hop was like, yo, don't call me that.
Yeah, you got tight.
That's lit. That's lit. That's when you know you're like that.
Yeah, and this guy, I think one of the, you ever seen D-Hop? He went up to a coach. I think a coach went up to him. A coach went up to D-Hop and said, you're the best receiver in the league. And he was like, I know.
Yeah, he's real.
I know. He's ice for that. You kidding me?
He has a TikTok.
He does.
Yeah, he's popping on TikTok.
I mean, when you're D-Hop, people are just going to easily gravitate towards you.
We got to tag D-Hop in the comments, get him to see this video.
He's going to be like, I know I'm like that. I don't need y'all telling me.
Yeah, D-Hop got to tell us about that moment.
Listen, I'm cool with that. He could do whatever he wants.
Come on the show anytime.
You kidding me?